Let's talk about the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. As you may know, there are people who think about the Nintendo Cinematic Universe and say that it probably should be the best thing because there was the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Then after that, there was Detective Pikachu, which now became a game on the Nintendo Switch. And unfortunately, the Nintendo Cinematic Universe isn't really gonna happen. Illumination has rights to create the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Warner Bros. Has rights to own, I'm pretty sure it's the Pokemon movie, and Sony eventually is going to have rights to own the Legend of Zelda movie. And this is not to say that we won't get a Nintendo Cinematic Universe movie. It's probably never going to happen because Nintendo doesn't intend on making a Nintendo Cinematic Universe movies because it relies on distribution or asking permission from all of the creators to combine stuff. And that is where I come in. So in today's video, I'm basically going to be making a Nintendo Cinematic Universe with my pencil. I'm going to be setting up what the Nintendo Cinematic Universe is going to be. I'm going to be setting up the characters. I'm going to be making synopsis for each franchise character. So Mario, Pikachu, Link. Sonic isn't necessarily a Nintendo character. After we make the two phases, I might go make future videos on how each movie should be created. I think that if I don't make this kind of stuff, then I'm going to be a weeb forever in not a chat or anything. We should have 6 founding members of the Nintendo Cinematic Universe, just like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It didn't start with all of these people. It started with 6 people. So we have a total of 7 franchises we're going to base off of the Justice League. I'm really happy for 7 members. Eventually, we're gonna have this entire Smash franchise where there's all of these characters. I'm just gonna look to see what they have in comparison so that we can make a derivative of the game. We don't want to exactly copy the game because if you've seen the news, there has been instances where Nintendo has been a bit feisty over its content. It's oh god, no. I don't want someone to be pirating content. So we're gonna have to reinvent the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. But that also means that we don't necessarily have to go off of what the initial Nintendo Cinematic Universe is. What I want to happen is all of the Smash movies aren't necessarily going to be about multiple protagonists. It's just going to be one protagonist because I think if I just add one protagonist to the story, it makes it more easier to propose a story instead of having multiple protagonists, because for multiple protagonists you have to develop a story that embraces all of the characters combined. Then we have side characters that each represent a trait of the Smash universe. So I brought some kimbap. I'm gonna start eating it. After I eat it, I'm gonna go draw some characters. I found some consistencies between all of these characters. Aside from Metroid and Link, from Metroid and The Legend of Zelda, respectively, all of the other characters looked like cartoon characters. For example, Pikachu had an animal appearance. It was a mouse, so it had animalistic features. Likewise, Mario is a middleman plumber. Even with that, he has round features. So he's fat, he has round head. He has the Earthbound uses chibi Japanese characters. Ness is an example. He has a round head. Almost everyone is creature or some sort of animal. Some of them are either humans or actual humans. Legend of Zelda is kind of an exception to this because it's based off of mythical stuff, the medieval times. What I think all of the Nintendo characters have in common is that they all have bright colors. Of course, whenever I'm gonna design the Nintendo characters, they're not really going to be colorful. Well, I mean, they're not gonna have any color because I'm not gonna color anything in, as I'm too lazy to color anything in. But I'll try to make sure that aside from Metroid and Link, that all of the other characters are based off the circle, because a lot of their shapes are circles. We're trying to go off of inspiration material, so that means that we can't necessarily go off of what Nintendo is actually going to be saying or what characters we're going to be using for Nintendo, because if we use the Nintendo characters and we attempt to make money out of it, then Nintendo is gonna most likely sue us. I think something like pineapples or even like the coconut kingdom would kind of be innovative. And let's say that instead of a 45-year-old plumber, the toads are now going to be just like coconut people. What would the plumber be if he tried to save? Would it even be a princess? Maybe like a space alien? Probably like the electrician, but the electrician looks the same as Mario. Instead of, well, he wears a vest, so a vest would be more appropriate. Looks something like this. He is an electrician. The coconut people are called who was, and they're trying to save Goddess. For The Legend of Zelda, you know how there's like the sciences? I'm thinking of as we have like a interconnection between all of the three characters. It should be a Kirby character, biology, which is like Pikachu, and chemistry, which is like Metroid. I'm thinking of the protagonist protects someone to save the big man, which in this case is it would be Ganon in this case, but it's a gigantic Pikachu in this case. I'm gonna come back to this one because I have to go to the Kirby one in order to make the Legend of Zelda one. So let's just do Kirby first so that I can complete the Legend of Zelda one. The Kirby one is kind of self-explanatory. You complete levels in Kirby, then you defeat the boss. It's linear. So it's kind of related to the Legend of Zelda in some way. I want this still to be a spear. Since it's like shaped like a balloon, we can make it a balloon. Something like this would work temporarily. I'm thinking of fixing the design because I'm on a time constraint. It's about to go dark. In terms of the Kirby character, spherical, uses a lot physical, non. Now we're moving on to The Legend of Zelda. We want to contribute to this, so we're gonna make Link to have a mask. Probably gonna be like the only people that are human anyway. I'm thinking he should have some sort of sword on his back. And then he's obviously gonna have hair. He's gonna be like the only one with an anime figure, but that's okay. I'm gonna do Metroid. So I'm practically thinking that it's gonna be like Princess, still metal. We're not gonna have her like wear a suit like Metroid, but metal, chemistry based, instead of like being space related. Star Fox is already a space animal. She's like a combination of Zero Suit Samus and also Zelda. Sorry for my bad character making skills. This is her crown. There are a lot of Pokemon on there. The Pokemon leader, Ash Ketchum, is not there. He has died. Pokemon should probably not be about catching Pokemon at all. In my universe. It's my universe, so who cares? We are going to be just focusing on Pikachu and him killing all of the other Pokemon because of power. Then, historically, some of the other parts of science, Legend of Zelda, stop him. And so he becomes like a tiny rabbit. There's been this debate for if Pikachu should be a mouse or a rat. The answer for that is actually, Pikachu is supposed to be a rabbit. It's supposed to be a rat. This is supposed to be like a Ganonized monster, cute after a rabbit. Wants power. Even though it's supposed to be a herbivore, it wants power. I would say that this is not like your ordinary mouse. For Star Fox, it's pretty simple. Just add some sort of, well, we're not gonna add a fox. So let's add a frog in there. Insert frog here because I don't know how to add frogs. Then boy. So we're basically done. Okay. Oh, we could actually make it a bomb boy. His energy is 1000 kilojoules or something. We have Mario, Link, Metroid, which is a princess, the frog dude, the bomb boy dude, the Pikachu dude, and the Kirby dude. Now, all of these characters are gonna be used like 3 times. We're gonna add more supporting characters, but these are like the household characters. This is gonna be our main protagonist, and also this one, since they're both related. But these are gonna be the 2 protagonists. We're gonna have all of the movies based off of the franchises. But yeah, that's pretty much the plan. We're gonna have 1, 2 smashes, 1, 2. The third phase, we're gonna have all 3 smash ones based off of the subjects of science, so biology, chemistry, and physics.